Have you ever had a sudden feeling come over you that something is wrong? That moment when you get cold chills and the hair stands upon the back of your neck? Tonight was one of those nights for me. My name is Bill Jackson. I'm 46 years old, 5 feet 11, 175 pounds. I am the plant manager at a major beer brewing company in Fort Worth, Texas. No, I am not Peter Griffin from The Family Guy. My wife is Janice or Jan. She is 46, also 5 feet 6, 130 pounds, and well-stacked nice large breast and flaring hips with a tight ass, especially in the dress she is wearing tonight. Jan works for a large advertising firm in Fort Worth. She is in the design and graphics department. Janice and I have been married for 25 years. As kids, we lived on the same block since the 4th grade. We were best friends through middle school and were a couple through high school. Jan was even my date at the prom. That's the night we became a lot closer. We gave each other our virginity that night. Jan and I attended the University of Texas together for 3 years. The last 2 years we shared a one-bedroom apartment. I guess you can say we lived together. We have a daughter, Judy. She is 21 years old and going to the University of Oklahoma, the traitor, LOL. Judy is also engaged to Brad Johnson, a very nice young man from Oklahoma City. Brad is from Oil Money. His dad is a big wig in a major oil company in Norman, Oklahoma. Brad also is 26 years old, so he is a little more mature and head over heels in love with our daughter. We are very happy for both of them. My future son-in-law is studying business law. Judy was studying any class they put her in. No major, just going to school. She was a cheerleader and spending my money, LOL. Jan makes about $55K per year at her job, and as a manager for the High Life Brewing Company, I brought home over 300 grand, so we were financially sound. About 15 years ago, we found a house on Lake Arlington that was in foreclosure. We made an offer on it for $350,000 cash and bought it, fixed it up, and at this time it is valued at $3 million. Now I guess I should get back to the night that got my skin crawling and my mind a-wondering. Jen let me know 3 days ago that her company was having a party this coming Saturday night, and after telling me about, she told me, "Bill, I know you don't like going to these things and you would probably be too tired, so you don't have to go if you don't want to." No, Jan, I am off the next few days and would love to go. For 3 days, Jen kept on telling me I didn't have to attend, but I kept saying I am excited about going and meeting her coworkers. At the party, my wife was wearing a beautiful but tight black dress that made her long blonde hair shine with those blue eyes. As soon as we entered into the main room, a man about 50-ish was walking towards Jen when I noticed her put her hand out away from her body, like it was a stop motion. Then she turned toward me and kissed me on the cheek. That was the first of my bad feelings that night. Jan and I had a few drinks. I was going to stay sober because I was driving, and also, I wanted to be aware of everything going on tonight. I have never had suspicions of my wife cheating before and didn't think she was tonight. All my bad feelings came from this guy. Later finding out from someone sitting at our table, his name is Jack Taylor. Jack Taylor was one of the senior advertising sales reps for my wife's company. Jan and I danced several dances. I caught her a few times looking over in Jack's direction, and he was staring back at us. After sitting down from one dance session, Jack came over and asked Jen if she would like to dance. He never looked at me, or even asked, "May I dance with your wife?" He asked her directly, the arrogant son of a bitch. Jen seen how red my face was getting and my fist balled up, so she politely declined and told him all her dances were for her husband. I could tell he was pissed as he walked away and started dancing with some other woman. Jen was ready for another drink, so I went to the bar to get her one. On my way back, I saw Jack in front of Jan asking her something. She was looking at him with sad eyes and shook her head no. Then I seen the movement of her lips. I could read her lips. She said, "Sorry, baby." I am pretty good at reading lips. Here in our plant it is very noisy in some parts and we wear hearing protection, so I know what she said. The rest of the night I watched and didn't drink anything else. I wanted to have control of all my senses. I paid a lot of attention to everyone around us. They were all watching me, watching Jan, and yes, watching Jack. I knew then something was going on, but what and how long had it been going on? I'm not very good about keeping things inside, so, on the way home, I asked Jen about Jack. "Jen, who is this Jack guy? The two of you seem to have a connection. Are you cheating on me?" "Jack is just someone I work with, honey, and I can't believe you would ever think I would cheat on you. I love you more than anything." I didn't say anything else that night. Jen knew me very well. If I caught her cheating, there would be hell to pay. When we were growing up, she was aware of how I always got revenge, and she always was on my side and backed me up when I needed her. Once in high school, a guy gave me a wedgie. I caught him later after school and beat the crap out of him and took his pants off and left him there taking his pants with me. Jen backed me up at school telling them I was with her and couldn't have done it. Once at the University of Texas, one of the football players was trying to force Jen to kiss him, and I kicked his knees out from under him, causing him to miss a few games. The coaches were wanting me kicked out until Jen told them she was going to the police and press attempted rape charges. They let it go real fast. So Jen knows I wouldn't just sit there and be cuckolded, or she should have. Like I said earlier, Jen makes better than 50 grand, and I make more than 300 grand. Plus Jen has over 125,000 in her 401k, and I have over 1 million in mine, so I decided I need to know for sure. I hired a private detective that we had used before at my brewery on a few workers' comp cases, and to make a long story short, I had audio, video, and photos I needed. So a few weeks later, we were sitting at our dining room table one morning drinking coffee when I asked Jan, "So you would never cheat on me, would you? Or never have before? Right, Jan?" "No, honey, I never would." "Why would you ask me that, Bill?" I took the large envelope and started throwing pictures down on the table one at a time. "Well, Jan, in this picture you were kissing Jack outside Motel 6. This one you were going inside the door. This one is his car parked in front of our house. This one is you sucking his dick while he sits in my recliner. This one is him fucking you in our bed." "Bill, it doesn't mean anything. I don't love him. It's just sex. It means everything to me." "Is he better than me, Jan? Is he bigger than me? How long has this been going on and why?" "No, he is not bigger and not even as big, Bill. And as far as better, I can't say he is. It's just different is all. And we have been doing it for over a year." "You have had a boyfriend for over a year?" "Bill, at work we don't call it boyfriend. I am his office wife. Several people at work do it." "What? You're not going to leave, are you, Bill?" "Hell no, bitch. I am not leaving, you are. I have packed most of your clothes and personal belongings in your BMW. I want you out of my house now, slut." I grabbed Jan by her arm and escorted her to her car. "Where will I go, Bill?" "I don't care where you go, whore. Go fuck with your office husband." "I can't go to him. Jack is married with 3 kids." I had already known this. It was in the PI's report, his wife's name and kids, as well as address, but I didn't let Jan know that I had that info. "Jan, I don't care where you go. Head on back to Motel 6 and be sure let your fuck buddy know. But get the fuck away from here and stay away." "Bill, are you just going to throw away 25 years of a good marriage?" "Jan, it was less than 24 years of a good marriage and over 1 year of a cheating marriage, and you are the one that threw it away, whore." Crying, Jan got in her car and drove away. 3 hours later, the phone rings. It's my loving daughter. "Hello, Judy. How's all the wedding plans going?" They were doing all the planning, but I was covering the expenses, and she was having a large wedding. But it is my only daughter, and I do love her very much. Then the conversation went all to hell. "Dad, Mom says you kicked her out of the house. Why the fuck would you do something like that?" "Well, Judy, your mom should be the one to tell you this, but I caught her cheating on me." "Oh, grow up, Dad. This is the 21st century. That happens all the time. It's not that bad when a woman goes out and gets her some. Men used to do it all the time." "I never have, and I won't put up with it either." "So are you doing that to Brad?" "Dad, that's none of your business, and Brad and I aren't married yet. So what I do is not his concern." "Okay, who else does this crap that I know?" "And Betty does, Dad. So what?" "My family, the 3 horse." "Dad, get over it, and let my mom come back home. Besides, it's not that big a deal. And Dad, I have met Jack. He is a wonderful man. Mom wants him involved in the wedding, and so do I." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Are these bitches stupid? Did they fry their brains on drugs or something? "Well, Judy, if you want him in your wedding, let him walk you down the aisle, because if he is there, I won't be." Then I hung the phone up. My phone rang several times throughout the night, but I refused to answer it. 2 days later, Jen showed up at the house with a piece of paper. It was a court order. Her office husband did have a great lawyer, and she was granted a temporary order to be let back into the house until everything was resolved. She also wanted to talk about her affair. The stupid slut felt like it was not affecting our marriage. She was affectionate to me when I asked for it, and would continue be that way to me. And she seen no reason to stop with Jack. "Bitch, you know I will never put up with a cheating slut for a wife. And as far as wanting to be affectionate with you, I will never touch you again, slut. You can have the master bedroom since that's where you fucked him. I have been sleeping in one of the spares since I found out how big of a whore my wife was. But I am not a whore." "Jan, I don't care what you say. It doesn't matter anymore. I will file for divorce this week and get rid of your skanky ass." "Bill, I don't want a divorce, and besides, Jack and I have talked to his lawyer, and if you divorce me, I get the house and half of all our assets, then you make more than I do. So I would get a big chunk of your check for alimony. So my dear husband, you might as well sit back and enjoy the ride, as Jack says. Fuck you, and Jack, you whore. I got up and went into my bedroom. About midnight, Jen knocked on my door crying, saying she was sorry and she wanted it to work out for us. But she wanted Jack also. The next morning, I went to see one of our company lawyers. He pretty much said it would go as Jan had said. She would get the house and half of everything. Judy was out of the house, so there would be no child support. And yes, she would get at least $125,000 a year alimony. Bill, he said, you were fucked if you divorced her. Sorry, my friend. The next few days was calmer. We never spoke to each other. But the third day, Jen asked me, are you still foolish enough to try for a divorce? My lawyer is looking at it as we speak. Fuck you, Bill. I will take everything you have. I didn't say anything else, just drank my high life. About an hour later, Jan had been talking on the phone in the dining room, and she brought me the phone. Someone needs to speak to you, Bill. Hello. Bill, this is Jack. Hey man, I know you are pissed, but you just need to go along with it, cucky boy. We will take everything and make your life miserable if you don't. Prick, you don't know who you're fucking with. You can have the slut. I don't want her anymore. She is damaged goods. So go fuck yourself and your whore. Then I slammed the phone down. I looked at Jan and couldn't believe how stupid her and asshole were. I had caught them by putting a private detective on them. I had video and audio. I had pictures. Speaking about the audio, if they were so smart, wouldn't they know the conversations in this house and on this phones were still being recorded? Stupid people. The next week, Jen met with her office husband 4 times. It was at Motel 6 and not here. I did tell her if she fucked him here again, I would kill them both. I think she finally believed me. The brewery that I worked for had been purchased last year by a larger brewery from Colorado, the Rocky Mountain one, yes. We were running both products out of our plant here in Fort Worth. We were using 2 managers, myself on my product, and the other product was being ran by James. James was the plant manager from Colorado. He was much younger and a very bright person. I liked him a lot. James had went through a divorce before he came here, so he knew what I was going through. Our company had been wanting to downsize and have just 1 manager. The good thing that was on my side was, we are unionized. They wanted the younger guy and James was from the purchasing company. They had been trying to buy me out. The latest offer was $500,000 and turning my retirement from the previous company over into stocks. What better stocks to have in this depressing world? Beer stocks, LOL. James and I went to a local strip club close to the plant. James came here often, seeing he was divorced and had nothing much to do every night. That's when everything came to me. It was in our chat. My life got better. Bill, I know what you are going through. That blood-sucking ex of mine got everything. I wish I had just sold off everything or gave it away and just ran off and never got a divorce. James, my friend, you are the smartest man I know. I downed my beer and shook his hand. Thank you, my friend. Then I walked out of the door and drove home. Luckily, Jan wasn't home. Guess she was out getting her office stick tonight. Jen didn't come home all night, and I realized how little I missed her. At one time, I loved Jen more than anything in this world. Now I hated the cunt. My plan was going into effect soon. Today was Sunday, and I was at home watching football when my daughter called. Dad, are you getting over your mad spell? What do you want, Judy? I'm calling because Mom wanted me to talk to you about the wedding. Okay, what is up, daughter? Mom and I think Jack should be in the wedding also. Maybe he could walk up the aisle behind you and me, then sit when he gets to Mom. Judy, is that really what you want? Yes, Daddy, I think I do. And I know Mom does. You are my father and Mom's husband, but Jack is her office husband, so we think you should be in the wedding. Judy, I have a better idea. Let your office dad walk you down the aisle, because I won't be there. I will call Brad and give him my apologies. Dad, don't be silly. Brad doesn't like this either, but he will get over it on our wedding night. Judy, I wish you a good life, sweetie. Bye. What does that mean, Dad? I never answered her, just hung up and cried. Jan came home Sunday night and asked, Did you miss me, honey? Slut, I will never miss you. Go somewhere and die. Jen ran off to her room crying. Monday morning, I was in the corporate office at 8 a.m. I took the buyout, $500,000 put into an offshore account and 1 year salary. Our house was paid for, and so was our autos, so the next stop was at the bank. I had papers drawn up to borrow money on our house and Jan's BMW. The house was worth $2.3 million, so I borrowed $2 million easily. Jan's car was worth $45,000, so I easily got $35,000. All I wanted to do there was give her a little debt. I had to get her to sign the papers. That was going to be the tricky part. I went back to my job. I had to finish out the next 2 weeks for an easy transition. For James, I didn't mind that. He was a fantastic person. That afternoon, I called the wedding planner. I canceled my cards so they wouldn't pay the bills coming in. I told her I would no longer be responsible for the wedding cost. Then who will pay for the wedding, Mr. Jackson? Tell Judy to ask her new dad Jack for the money. At my office, I had drawn up some fake insurance policy applications for $1 million of life insurance for me. That evening, I called Jan. She was surprised that I had called her. Jan, if you are not going to be with Jack tonight, can we have a nice dinner? Oh, that would be great. I am so happy you are getting over this. Where do you want to go? The Italian Inn? Downtown? Under the lights? Is that okay? That sounds so romantic, darling. Maybe you will get lucky tonight, Bill. I hope to get luckier than you know tonight, Jan. We had dinner, and during dinner, Jan tried to kiss me, but I just said later. I told her about the insurance policy for a cool $1 million. I lied to her and said the company was wanting me to take it out and she would be the beneficiary. Jan, isn't your sister Betty a notary? Yes, Bill, she is. We have to sign them in front of a notary. Let's go over to her house and sign them tonight. Then we can celebrate. Okay, Bill, let's go. I paid the dinner tab. Then we went to her sister's house and she signed and initialed all the pages. She was so happy we were together, and with the 6 glasses of wine, she never looked at what she was signing. Again, as I said earlier, what a stupid bitch. The next day, I rushed the papers to the mortgage company and the bank. The bank gave me the 35 grand instantly. The 2 million would take at least a week. I was having it moved to the account offshore. 1 week later, I was finished at the brewery. I stopped off at the Ford dealer and traded my truck in on a new F-350 Ford truck. I paid cash, of course. Next stop, to the bank, closed all our credit cards, emptied all our saving out, took all the money from our checking accounts out but $1,000, and had a friend of mine move all my offshore money to different accounts to hide any trace or records. The next 2 items on my agenda were harder for me. I hated the fact that innocent people were going to get hurt. I met with my future son-in-law, told him what was going on, how I cut off the money, and how I felt my daughter would fuck him around. Then I gave him the audio of my conversations with Judy. Brad was devastated. My next stop was to the residence of one Jack Taylor. A beautiful lady about 50 answered the door. It made me wonder how a man could cheat on someone as classy as this lady. Like I said earlier, stupid people. I gave Miss Taylor the videos, pictures, and audio. She was crying, but before I left, she told me this wasn't his first time, but it would be his last time on her. It seems she is one of the major stockholders of Beckham Advertising Agency. Hope that doesn't affect a couple of people's jobs that I know. How will Jan make her $700 a month car payment or her $12,000 a month mortgage? LOL. Maybe her office husband will help her pay them. You think? Now I am on my way to the RV dealership. They should have my 36-foot-long fifth-wheel travel trailer ready. My plan is going as well as I had planned. I paid cash for the truck and the RV. I had them put in my cousin's name. I have only 3 credit cards, also in his name. I plan on heading out to Florida for a few years and laying low, and maybe I will get lucky and my wife will file for divorce for abandonment. I hope she does this soon with the no-compete clause in my contract. I can't work for another brewery for a year, and the king of breweries is not far from where I will be staying in the RV in Florida. 1 year and 3 months later, a lot of things have changed. Jack is divorced, and he was correct. The woman does get everything. His wife got the house and 60% of everything, plus $60,000 a year alimony. Jack lost his job, but he did get a nice job working in one of the last Blockbuster video stores left open. He's a tape rewinder and DVD cleaner, and he has a nice 1-room apartment above the local adult store. Jan, well, she had a tough time making payments on the house and her car. She never knew about the payments on the house. She was sure we always paid cash. She lost both, and with bad credit, can't get an apartment worth having. Jan also lost her job, but did find another job. She is a waitress at Denny's on the interstate. She did file for abandonment. She needed the divorce to get her welfare started. She got nothing from me like she thought she would. Seems they couldn't find me and she had to get her welfare assistance fast, so she just got a quick, clean divorce. My loving daughter, she didn't get married. Brad confronted her about the audio tapes, and she said she didn't think it was all that bad if the wife got her some on the side. Same old story she told me. Brad called off the wedding. Judy lost her millionaire family. She lost her dad and now lives in a 2-bedroom apartment on the wrong side of town. She shares it with her loving mother. From what I hear, my wife and daughter are dating. Well, if you can call all the black men stopping by every night laying their $20 down as dating, then I guess they are dating pretty heavy. I am having a ball in southern Florida, all the bikinis here, the great weather, and a fantastic job working with the King of Brews.
Dear listener, if you have reached this far, please click on the subscribe button. It will be a great help.